fighting campaigns in Muslim countries to dominate not just the region, but to dominate the world. Many of you Muslims think it's just you Muslims, but no, sir. Western imperialism is so pernicious, so vile, so wicked, that its ambitions are to colonize the globe. Look at Western imperialism across Africa. When you talk about the Arab Spring, many of you Muslims, or many of you Arabs, you assume, Tunisia, Muslim country. Where is Tunisia? In Africa. When we talk about Libya, where is Libya? In Africa. When we talk about Egypt, where is Egypt? In Africa. In Uganda, Somalia, right across Africa, in Mali. Western imperialism has its tentacles there too. They are strangling everywhere. I've been speaking in Hyde Park, right in this space, since 1986. And I remember in the early days of the Gulf War, I said that Western imperialism will not be satisfied until they have a McDonald's restaurant inside every mosque. Think about it. When America went to Iraq or Kuwait to expel Iraq, they had bases in Saudi Arabia. The Americans said we will only be there temporarily. We will not be in the region permanently. Now look at America's influence across the Arab world. And you Muslims, you have puppets, you have devils, you have pork munching, fucking champagne drinking sheikhs. Look at the house of Al Saud in Saudi Arabia. Look at the house of Al Saud. Your Quran tells you there are no kings and queens in Islam. Where the hell did the Sabah family come from? Where the hell did the house of Al Saud come from? Nonsense. My brothers, but I'm not here to throw stones. I'm simply saying that we are all the same people. And it does not mean that it is Muslims or Islam versus Christianity. We have to look deeper than that. This is a big global struggle, and people need allies. I am not a Muslim, but I support the Muslim struggles in this war, in this campaign against imperialism. I am not a Palestinian, but I support the Palestinians in their campaign against Israel. When it comes to fighting and challenging imperialism, when it comes to fighting and challenging wickedness, the evil of empire, then yes, I am a Muslim. Allahu Akbar. I am a Palestinian.
Have you been circumcised?
Yes, Jeremy. I was circumcised with your girlfriend.
Which is the same as his sister.
Which is the same as his sister. What's your problem, Jeremy? Why are you so frustrated? What is your problem? Look at you.
Why don't you talk about the girls kidnapped in Nigeria?
What about the girls
kidnapped?
kidnapped?
In Nigeria?
Jeremy, a great point. A great point. A great point. He talks about girls being kidnapped in Nigeria.
Going to school.
Going to school. 200 Nigerian schoolgirls have been kidnapped.
By the Muslims.
Doesn't matter who they're kidnapped by.
Oh, your brothers. You said you're a Muslim.
But Jeremy, the issue here we're discussing is 200 schoolgirls, Nigerian schoolgirls, have been kidnapped. The issue that I'm concerned about is, if this was one white schoolgirl, it would be all over the news. We'd have John Simpson on the scene, CNN, Sky News, BBC, all wall-to-wall coverage. The Americans will be sending ships to the region. They'll be talking about blockade sanctions. They'll be bringing up how violent society is. If it was one white schoolgirl, not one, Jeremy, not one Pakistani. If you went missing, they wouldn't care. The reality is, Jeremy, a plane goes missing with 300 people on board. 295 Indians, one English, one French, one American. They don't give a fuck about the 295 Indians on board. They give a fuck about the American, the Italian, or the English. So Jeremy, we are looking at racism. We see in the media this week a statement by a chap named Donald Sterling, and the owner of an American basketball team, who makes a statement with his girlfriend, and he says his girlfriend's mixed race, and he says to her he does not want her bringing black people to his football matches. And he is fired. And there's a whole load of hullabaloo in the Western American media about how he's fired. But Donald Sterling was not fired because he made racist statements to his girlfriend about bringing black people to a basketball match. Donald Sterling was fired because he made the statement that blacks are treated like dogs in Israel. That's why he was fired. And because it brought so much negative publicity against Israel that they had to sacrifice him so that people do not focus on those remarks, and instead now we say, oh, he was fired for racism. I had a friend in the US send me messages saying they haven't even heard that statement in the American media. They weren't even talking about what Donald Sterling said about blacks treated like dogs in Israel. They focused upon his statement that they don't want blacks to come to the football match. A couple of days ago, Jeremy Clarkson, this hero of the BBC, is picking between two cars. I've never watched the program myself, but he says this is a broadcast for the BBC, a public service broadcast paid for by you, the taxpayers' money. And so Jeremy Clarkson says, eeny, meeny, miny, moe, catch a nigger by the toe. If he squeals, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. As racist as it fucking comes. That isn't the first time Jeremy Clarkson's made those remarks. He's a serial racist, a serial offender. Yet because the BBC makes money from him, they don't sack him. First of all, when that was made public, he came out and he said, oh, I didn't make that statement. I would never utter such a word. And then the video goes out viral. And then he comes out and says, oh, I was trying not to say the word, and then I realized, oh, maybe it may have come out. And then he apologizes, and then everyone says, oh, forget about it. He's apologized, let it go.
BBC, money before morals. Money before morals. Don't watch it.
Imagine.
Don't watch it. Watch a program.
Imagine. No, hold on. Jeremy, you are the one that... Jeremy, let me ask you this question. You are the one that brought that argument forward when you first came to the debate. What do you think should have happened to Jeremy Clarkson?
I think he should be knighted. He should be sir.
Can you imagine?
Sir.
He should be sir. Imagine. These are the immigrants. The very niggers and packies that they talk about. And that just shows you, we have Uncle Toms and we have Uncle Rameshes. And look at this clown.
What about Lenny Henry? He should go back to the black country.
Another statement. Lenny Henry makes a statement saying that there are not enough blacks in media. And an MP from the UKIP suggests that if he doesn't like it, he should go and live in a black country. Jeremy, you just grasp onto the sound bites that the media put out there. UKIP are no more racist than the Labour Party.
I'll vote, then have my vote.
Of course you should vote.
My vote. I'll be a candidate for you.
Jeremy, they should vote for you. You should go and be a part of UKIP.
I'll give you a free ticket.
The issue is, UKIP are no more racist than the Labour Party. They're no more racist than the Conservatives. They're no more racist than the Liberal Democrats. But what the media and these cross parties do is they focus the attention upon one of these groups to take the strap from themselves. When it wasn't UKIP, who was it? The BNP and Nick Griffin. They always have a candidate, the EDL. They always have a group or a candidate that they focus on. Let me tell you this. Do you remember a few years ago there were some Chinese immigrants, cockle pickers, who were in Morecambe Bay picking cockles. And 21 of them drowned. 21 of them drowned in Morecambe Bay. And do you remember, a Conservative MP makes a joke when 21 people have died. She made a joke, she said, 2 sharks are in the Atlantic. One shark says to the other, I'm tired of having tuna, let's go to Morecambe Bay for some Chinese. A Conservative MP made that joke.
That's really funny.
It is really funny. If it was your daughter involved, or your mother involved, or any of your family members involved. But it's really funny when it's someone else. Yet, that Conservative MP was not sacked. She was not fired. She retained her position. The reality is, Britain is a great country. It is better to be black or non-white living in England than it is to be black or non-white living in Spain, living in Italy, living in France, living in Poland, living across Europe.
South Africa.
It is better to be black or non-white in England than in most other parts of Europe.
So why do all the blacks want to come in?
However, we must not excuse the ugly face of racism when it rears its head. Jeremy, you are a problem. Why you are a problem is because whenever these issues of racism come up, they will always find a nigger or a packy like you to put on TV, and then you'll say, no, it's all right. There's no problem. I got a corner shop. The problem is us. We need to do more. That's your position, Jeremy. Listen to yourself. Listen to yourself.
Why is the prison full of blacks?
I've known this man since the 80s, since the mid-80s, as a speaker. I'm not even a speaker. I don't know what to say you were. You were just there.
I'm just here to guard the crowd.
This man in the 80s was there, and he always was so proud to say, I'm British. I was educated at Oxford.
Yes.
Which fucking part of Oxford? Oxford Circus. Jeremy, you were a sexual accident. The best part of you ran down your dad's leg. Oh shit! Jeremy!
Can you get your PR man?
Jeremy! He's not your PR man, he's your father, Jeremy. Look at him.
He comes to finger you.
Jeremy! What surprises me? What shocks me? What stuns me more than anything else? What stuns me more than anything else is the whole notion of biology and nature.
Who let him in?
A Pakistani at Heathrow. One of our Pakistani brothers at Heathrow. It's all right, my brother. I will deal with him. Jeremy, it takes 100 million sperm to fertilize a fetus, and that was the winner. Look at you. You still look like an amoeba. You still look like you're made out of one cell. I can't even see 2 cells out of you, Jeremy. Look at you.
Look at you.
Look at me.
Look at you.
Your girlfriend, don't look at me. Your girlfriend does that enough. Your girlfriend, Jeremy, your girlfriend looks at me and what is your girlfriend's handbag doing in my house? Jeremy, ask yourself those questions. But anyway, these suicide hecklers, I love them. I mean, if they weren't here, it gives flavour to what it is. I never come in to talk for so long. I'm only going to round up in 5 minutes. Jeremy's a part of it. My brother, let's leave Egypt, Ukraine and all these things to one side, because I believe that we can focus on a bigger problem. The bigger problem is ourselves. What are we doing? We're not doing enough. We divide ourselves by subtle differences, and you can see that Jeremy can play them out. Oh, well, you off, Jeremy? Have I just brought you back? Jeremy will say things like, you're a drug dealer. Why would he make such a statement? Because we already have the notion. We already have the notion within the society that black people are drug dealers. And hold up. Indians are corner shop owners. Pakistanis are terrorists. My friend, it's all right. But brother, I'm just saying, we have a bigger problem on our hands. And what that bigger problem is Western imperialism and how it is taking over the globe. How it is corroding our values, our way of life. Look at the societies that we live in and look at the values and what we give importance to. They will credit the bankers, the very thieves, the very individuals who have robbed and raped these societies of billions. They will make them heroes and icons. Look at who the Western public admires. The people. They have made gods and goddesses out of celebrities. Jeremy, I'm saying that we as the people, if we educate ourselves, you're beyond redemption, Jeremy, you know that. But if we educate ourselves, we will learn and see that the differences between us are extremely minor. If you put an Arab and a Jew in a room together, what do you get? Some might think you'll get war. But in fact, looking at Speaker's Corner as an example, where we have come here for years, for decades I've been a speaker in this park. There have been Muslims and Jews in the same meetings with two diametrically opposed arguments. Yet, you never see a fight between Muslims and Jews break out in the park. I'm sure you have, John. You probably instigated it. I'm saying to you, more often than not, you will see people debating these issues. So I'm saying, let's not focus on the differences that exist amongst us. Let's focus upon what we have in common. Let's focus upon who the real enemy is. Because when it comes to the struggles, the global struggles, many of you Muslims say, the Jews are this and the Jews are that. But many of the most vocal, many of the most ardent fighters, many of the most prolific anti-imperialist fighters are Jews. Norman Finkelstein, who wrote The Holocaust Industry. Noam Chomsky. There's a litany of Jews who are involved in the struggles. It is not a Muslim or Jewish argument. It is not even a black or white argument. We are looking at imperialism, and when it comes to imperialism, we have black imperialists too. When we look at the invasion of Libya and Syria, we have seen the Arab League. So there are Arab imperialists too. They are just as much my enemy. The House of Al Saud, the Sabah family, are just as much my enemy as Barack Obama and those other devils in the White House. Barack Obama is a devil.
He's a nigger.
You can call him that if you like. Barack Obama is a devil who's even worse than George Bush because he gets away with his crimes because of his blackness. The things that Barack Obama can get away with, George Bush could never get away with. Barack Obama is a PR construct.
Barack Hussein Obama.
When they constructed Barack Obama, they took part of Martin Luther King, part John F. Kennedy, glued it together and sold it as PR. But Barack Obama represents corporate America. Barack Obama represents the banks of America. Barack Obama represents the pharmaceutical companies of America.
Why not?
You say,
He calls me a packy lock on
he said, I didn't say so. I did not call you a packy,
Yes, you
Jeremy.
did.
Jeremy, I said they see you. Jeremy, I said, Jeremy, I said, Jeremy, my brother, don't listen to him, nonsense. I said to him, sir, I said to him, they called him. I said they called him, sir, I said they called him a packy bastard. Just as they called me, nigger. Jeremy, sir, Paki first.
Next time you say nigger, you should be on the floor.
Jeremy!
I'm afraid so, yes. They do charge, yes.
Jeremy!
They charge, yes.
Jeremy!
I don't know how much.
Jeremy! Let's get to this debate. Now, first of all, I'm not going to get to it. He makes a good point. He says,
I think there's a company that has our deck chairs.
my brother,
Yes, pay that one.
Yeah, if you come round, I have to pay.
I have to pay.
We're going to get to it.
That's why I'm
Hold
standing
up,
over
sir.
there.
Oh, right. Well, I'll have to pay if she comes
Sir,
round.
let's stay with the debate. Please. Sir,
I've been coming here since I was cruel. And I've been saying
and you're still crawling. My friend, sir,
I'm still standing.
excuse me, Jeremy. Now, not after this meeting, you won't. Jeremy. Now, let's just get to a timeline. Let's get to a timeline of events. You came into the meeting and you used the word nigger. That's how it started. And I said you would be referred to as a packy. And I said let's go even further. You would be referred to as a packy bastard. So that's the timeline of events.
Okay.
Now, he says...
I
You started. I'll accept an apology, Jeremy. I'll accept an apology, Jeremy.
Back 1988.
I'll accept an apology, Jeremy.
1988.
I'll accept an apology, Jeremy. It's all right. It's all right, Jeremy. Jeremy is fine. I know you are. Now, hold on. Now, he says.
Why can 50 Cent say this?
Now he says, why can 50 Cent say nigger? Why 50 Cent and other rappers use the word nigger and get away with using the word nigger simply because of white guilt? I don't believe these black rappers should be able to get away with it. It is disgraceful that these rappers, but look at them, hold on, but look at them first of all. Let's look at these black rappers. These black rappers, hip-hop has moved away from
I
the
bring
social
the chair is
commentary.
there, then you are sit down over
And
there.
now
Stand up
these
now.
rappers looked at
Stand up now. I bring that chair is here.
Jay-Z,
Have you paid for the
Yeah.
chair? Oh, sorry!
are foot soldiers of capitalism.
I'm stand up,
They are a
maybe
part
you are
of the very
realize that.
machine and mechanism that we're fighting against.
Have you paid for it?
Jeremy,
Of course I
I'm
do.
sorry!
you asked the question. He asked
I'm
the question.
sorry, I
He
misunderstood.
asked the question. He asked the question. How can these
would have got up
rappers
straight away.
get away with saying big?
I would have got up straight away.
Not just that, it is the Western corporate record companies that allow them to get away with it. Because I say this, they would never, you have these black rappers talking about, I just shot a nigga. I just
didn't mean
killed a
to be
nigga.
rude.
And their record sales shoot through the roof.
Sorry.
Because the
I
white
can't stand
Western
up.
owned record
I'm very
companies
sorry.
love it. The public, white middle, the largest purchaser of hip hop is white suburban America. And so they fantasize about this black violence. Kill a nigga, shot a nigga. They call black women bitches and hoes.
So what about
Hold on,
the-
Jeremy.
what about the
Hold on,
population
Jeremy.
of those
Hold
in
on,
prison
Jeremy. I'm gonna
in
get to you.
America?
I'm gonna get to you.
On death row.
I'm gonna talk to you. They call black women bitches and hoes right across their music. Yet, you will not find one white rapper who could talk about saying, I just killed a honky. I shot this honky 9 times. White women are bitches and hoes.
Doesn't sound
Never. It don't sound right, do it? It would never sell. No. Eminem. Madame, I'm gonna get to it. Eminem. Hold on. Excuse me. Hold on. Eminem. Oh, excuse me, my brother.
What's wrong with that?
Sir. Eminem makes music about his mother. He says, my mother's a bitch, a hoe, and all of this stuff. She left me alone. He's targeting his mother. You even said it. Hold on, sir. Excuse me. Sir. Hello.
I just don't want to get
Excuse me.
blown up. I want my human rights respected.
Excuse me.
I just don't
Sir.
want to get blown up when I
Sir.
by my daily work.
Ignore him.
They fucking move.
Hello.
I
Ignore.
want to feel safe.
Sir.
I want a fucking country.
Ignore him.
You know what I mean?
Sir.
I would fight for this country. If there was a
Sir.
war, I would
Excuse me.
fight. I'd fight for
Excuse
this
me.
country.
We are in the middle of a debate. Jeremy, shut the fuck up right now. Jeremy, shut the fuck up right now. We reach a different platform. Excuse me, sir. Yo, we've reached somewhere else. There are others. There are others in this debate. But now, Yo, Jeremy, why did you take that? Why did you take that somewhere outside?
Just like a Pepsi, every corner, they want to open a corner shop.
Thank you very much. Now, sir, yo,
Shouldn't be swearing in front of kids.
in fact, I'm only here for 2 more minutes. I'm fucking off.
Oh, thank God for that.
I'm going to see your sister.
No, you're going to go to the house next door.
Yes, your sister's house. Madam, you said Eminem talks about his mother. Hold on, madam. Your first state. I'm going to get to you. Your first state was that he talks about his mother. We're going to get to you. We're dealing with it phase by phase. Your first statement was that he's talking about his mother. And then afterwards, when you were corrected in the point of his mother being so personal, you said he talks about trailer trash. Without doubt, madam. What is trailer trash? Who are we referring to?
White people.
Madam, when we talk about honkies and trailer trash, we are referring to a class group, and I believe that group is just as pernicious. It should know it should even use such terms, but they do. However, when you use the term trailer trash, it is generic. When you talk about nigger, when you talk about bitches and hoes, we know that they are talking about women in general. So I'm saying to you, I'm not excusing Eminem. However, looking at the trajectory of Eminem, you see where he came through. He came through Dr. Dre. Hold on. However, he is in a branch of his own. When you go across hip-hop in general, from Jay-Z, 50 Cent, all the others, you will hear it right through the music. So my point was this, that you will never hear white musicians making songs about I just killed a honky or I shot a honky 9 times, because the mainstream music industry will not allow it, and furthermore, the state would not allow it.
You wouldn't hear blacks doing that either.
Can I ask you, why is there such a high criminal population in prison?
Now he says, why is there such a high prison population of blacks? It's funny you say that, Jeremy, and I think it's a very good question. Because when you go across America, we see a large prison population of blacks. In fact, in Australia, you'll find in the Northern Territories, the majority of people in prison are Aboriginals. In England, you see a disproportionate number of blacks.